What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, a little while ago, I heard about a game called Shatterline. Now, for the majority of us, we didn't get any permission to go ahead and play this game, but for a lot of content creators, you guys got to play behind the scenes, which is where we get to see all the footage of this title. Basically, Shatterline is a PvE/PvP type of experience. Now, of course, like I said, we didn't get to get hands-on, so I was always a little skeptical of this game because, again, I always tend to push more towards realistic graphics, stuff like Battlefield or, more like the OG Call of Duty games. That's usually what I gravitate towards, but I gotta say, they did a phenomenal job with going ahead and polishing off this experience. Now, the developers of this game actually put it out in early access, so it's free to play for absolutely anybody who has a Steam account, so I highly suggest you guys go ahead and giving it your own shot so you can form your own opinion. And for console players, it will be coming at a later date. I believe there will be crossplay because every single time you open up the scoreboard when you're playing this game, it showcases what platform you're playing on, so it shows right now, currently, everybody is on Steam because obviously it's only on PC at the moment. So I'm assuming once the console port comes out for this game, you'll be able to play crossplay with your buddies on an Xbox or PlayStation. Now, like I said a little bit earlier, the art style isn't completely my thing. I like a little bit more nittier and grittier graphics, but the gameplay truly makes up for absolutely everything with this title. And it's just me, right? It's just my personal opinion. There's tons of people out there who love this type of a graphical quality, who love the animations of this game, and just love the vibes and the atmosphere that this game produces for you. So obviously, it's absolutely no problem there. But if you're like me and you have the same mindset where graphics and, the grittiness of the game, making it feel like actual war, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. If you have that type of mentality, don't let it get in the way of you trying out this experience because the gameplay 110% makes up for absolutely everything. Now, the best way I can go ahead and describe this game is basically a perfect mix of Overwatch and Call of Duty. Now, Overwatch for me personally, it was a cool concept, and I gotta say Overwatch really dominated the escort game type where, you have a payload or whatever you want to call it, and you have to escort it to the final point while the other team has to defend point after point after point as well. Overwatch really dominated that whole overall field. So in order to play a game like that, you had to pretty much play Overwatch. And like I said, it just wasn't for me. It's a very spongy game. The heroes just weren't completely my style. And it was hard for someone who's obsessed with gunplay, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Apex Legends, anything of that sort. It's hard for someone who enjoys those style of games to hop directly over to Overwatch and enjoy the experience. Once again, I'm not saying it's bad in any way, shape, or form because it clearly has a massive audience and it makes tons of cash. But for someone with my mindset, it just simply wasn't for me. This game right here basically gives you everything that makes Overwatch extremely popular, but simplifies it down for Call of Duty type gameplay. This game has the heroes, this game has the special abilities, this game definitely 110% has the teamwork. You cannot produce any good gameplay in this game if you're not willing to work alongside your team. It resembles Overwatch in so many ways. But when it comes to the actual action, when you engage in gunfights, when you're moving around the map, clearly I'm still pretty much a noob in this game, but you can slide cancel in this game as well. It's pretty fluent. It's a little stiff. It feels more like Apex Legends than Call of Duty. But the pacing definitely resembles a COD title. And I gotta say, this combination is extremely addicting. I always enjoyed the escort type gameplay out of Overwatch and the team play that's in Overwatch as well. Like I said a little bit earlier, you have to play as a squad within this title. If you don't play with your team, you are going to fail. Not only lose the whole overall game, but you're going to get your ass handed to you. KD-wise, you're going to be going negative. And it's hard to find games nowadays that force you into that team play style. Even Battlefield, a game that's always been about teamwork in every possible frickin' way. 2042 doesn't even push that actual aspect. 2042 pushes the same mindset that Call of Duty's been pushing for ages and has always been known for, just solo gameplay. It's crazy to me. So, in a time where all the team play games are drowning and there's no other options out there, it's so refreshing to see a free-to-play title be introduced into the FPS realm that has the gunplay, the action that resembles a fast-paced arcade shooter, but also has the team play to back it up. You never find that nowadays when it comes to any of these type of fast-paced arcade games. Team play is just not an option. All of these development teams are pushing more towards pub stomping. How many frags can you get? How many bodies can you get? How many kill streaks can you go on? That's all that matters nowadays when it comes to FPS games. And when you go into an OBJ game mode that's in these type of FPS games, nobody plays it. You hop hop into a game of domination, you hop into a game of hardpoint, you go into a match of conquest and battlefield. Nobody plays the OBJ because the game is designed around pub stomping. People think, why should I go sacrifice my life for this objective when I can simply do 10 times better and top the leaderboards by simply just trying to frag out? Well, Shatterline is the absolute complete opposite. Yes, you can frag out, but like I said, you have to play with your squad. You have to play the objective. You have to know how to work together. I don't even have voice chat active because when I live stream, I don't like to put it on because people are absolute assholes out there. And, one slip up, Twitch is going to ban. You guys know how Twitch is. Twitch is pathetic, and they're very hypocritical. So one wrong thing that's said on my stream, and it doesn't have to be me, it will get me banned. So I'm very cautious with that stuff. So voice chat's off, but we're still working as a unit. It's one of those games, it resembles classic Battlefield in my opinion. Battlefield has always had that vibe about it, where you don't need to talk to your whole team, and you can't even talk to your whole team. The most that you can voice chat with is your specific squad. But somehow, some way, when you're playing with 64 people on your team, or 32 back in the day, you all synchronize together nicely. Sometimes you don't get me wrong, it doesn't happen all the time, and same thing in this game, you don't always get matched up with teammates that could do that, but the majority of time, you'll find ways to synchronize yourselves together, and that type of development is so insanely, I guess, complex because you don't see it nowadays, but I'm always impressed when a development team is able to do that, and that happens 110% in Shatterline. Even when you're not playing the escort game mode and you hop into a match of TDM, what do you think of when you think of TDM? You think of solo gameplay. You think of just charging out there and just seeing how many frags you can get. That's how it is in every other game. Not in Shatterline. Even in Team Deathmatch, you are moving as a unit. If you and your squad aren't playing together, you will lose that match of Team Deathmatch and you will die a lot. I never thought I'd see the day because, like I said, whenever I think of Team Deathmatch, I always think I can run off on my own. And that's what I did when I first started off Team Deathmatch in Shatterline. I ran off on my own. I did decent from time to time. But when I noticed that I truly excelled, when I finally broke out of my shell and got better at this game, it's when I stuck with my team in a match of Team Deathmatch. And you start to notice that that's what the maps are designed for. That's what the game is designed for. Team Deathmatch might have a different layout than Escort because obviously it's a different game mode. But you'll still find yourself playing it like it's Escort almost. You and your squad will stick to certain pathways. You'll combine abilities to push forward on enemies. And you don't even have an objective to push forward on. But for some strange reason, you just synchronize on these maps as a squad in Team Deathmatch. And you push as a unit. And it feels amazing. It feels refreshing. Honestly, I've never played a game that requires this much teamwork, but having the gameplay feel like it's a COD match. I never thought I'd see a game, perfectly meld that together. But Shatterline is here, and it completely offers that game style. And what's even better is that this game is completely free to play, yet it has more content and more things to grind for than a full-priced AAA product like Battlefield 2042. It's a joke, but honestly, that's the state of gaming nowadays. Free-to-play indie games released with more content and are more of a bang for your buck, even though they don't cost you a single dime, compared to AAA products. It's absolutely absurd. And they also innovated in this game way more than any other AAA development team. Like, you have movable cover in this game, and it works so well. It makes me think, how have we never seen movable cover in other games? If we have, let me know. But when I think of Call of Duty or Battlefield or anything of that sort, we have never been able to move cover. Yet it works perfectly. Imagine a match of Battlefield and all of those open territories that you're playing on in Battlefield 2042. Imagine if you had a trash can or a dumpster or something that you or a squad could physically push, move the cover, use it to progress on a map. It works amazing in this game. I don't know if it'll transfer over nicely into another title, but it's definitely something that should be worked in for future games. It just blows my mind, the creativity, the amount of content, and the love that these developers have for this title compared to any other AAA dev team. There's only one real, genuine concern I have about this title because everything else is perfect. It's way ahead of its time. It's early access and it's more polished off than, the majority of AAA games that release current date. Once again, it's ridiculous. But even though it's so polished, there's still a problem that I foresee in the future. and that is the mixing this with PvE as well. For those who don't know, this game has a massive other side to it. It's not just PvP like you see here, it's completely PvE as well. Now, I heard in early access they did some really bad changes to the blueprints and stuff like that with PvE, but I'm not really going to talk too much about that because I'm not a PvE guy, I'm more of PvP, so what you're watching right here is probably all I'm ever going to play if I do decide to keep sticking with this game. But I'm worried because usually when a development team tries to mix PvE with PvP, I don't want to say the game turns out bad, but usually, typically, one of those sides get neglected. Destiny is a perfect example in my opinion. You know, they have PvP in Destiny, but it's definitely not the selling point of that game whatsoever. The PvE is the selling point of Destiny. Joining up with a bunch of friends, getting a squad together, having late night raids, and doing PvE, playing co-op. That's where Destiny truly shines. Yes, maybe a few people will hop off and, they'll play the PvP side of things, but in all reality, the majority of the work the developers put into Destiny is for the PvE side of things. That's my concern when it comes to this game. How is the future going to look? Is PvP going to completely outshine PvE and that side gets neglected and it goes into the dirt? Or is PvE going to get all of the love and then PvP is going to be neglected and get put into the dirt? Regardless, either way, the game will probably be popular. It's tons of people who love the PvE side, so if that excels, they'll love this game. And there's tons of people who love the PvP side, so if that side excels, they'll stick with the game as well. But I'm worried that they're not going to be able to juggle both, and one of these sides are going to be left extremely disappointed when this game finally fully launches. But that right now is currently the only possible thing that I can think of that might go wrong with the production of this game. But I feel like the PvP is so simplified. I mean, PvE is where the biggest concerns are at right now, with balancing out blueprints, making it more accessible for people. I think PvP is going to be easy to balance out. All these specialists or heroes, whatever you want to call them, will have the same abilities. They just have to make sure they balance out in PvE and PvP. The weapons will be both usable in PvE and PvP as well. There's no blueprints in PvP, so you don't have to worry about to win or any overpowered, things that are going to be unlocked. It's all base weapons, and you can put one attachment on each weapon, so it's fair and balanced. So I'm hoping these complaints won't come alive because I can see the positives that PvP has for its future along with mixing it with PvE. But again, I've been shocked in the past. I've been proven wrong multiple times by AAA teams with millions of dollars in their budget. So I pretty much don't let anything slide nowadays. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bums I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this do do so, Twitter and Discord, put the link down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.